Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and here's me making a coffee. I'm sometimes asked actually how I go about my day and like a kind of behind the scenes scenario. I've always laughed at behind the scenes videos because I just think they're a little bit, Anyway, here's me making a very aesthetically pleasing coffee, and there is my aesthetically pleasing coffee as I sit at my craft table in the afternoon getting ready to film my most recent video. So I thought that I would have a look through my Delica beads because I'm sure, like you, I've got 1,000,001 of these little pretties. So I thought I would get them out and have a look and see what I could make with them this time. So I hope you don't mind. We've got a Delica bead video tutorial coming up after this little behind the scenes, which hopefully isn't boring for you. I'm literally just showing you, oh, look at that box of pretties. Aren't they gorgeous? Beautiful greens. And I spotted these little stick earrings that I had made, oh gosh, 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe something like that. And I thought I would show you how I made them today. So I'm just looking for some little gold beads. There we go. Little gold beads, aren't they gorgeous? So all I do basically is faff around, clean up a little bit. There's my copper, my beloved copper. So I'm just faffing around, as we all do, deciding where to put things. There you go. So I made that little pouch actually for my tools. Isn't it cute? Sadly, I can't show you what I did because this is a jewellery making channel and I'm sure you're not interested in making pouches. Anyway, so here's me just cleaning my desk. So basically, you can see outside it's pretty dull, so, I put the light on and pop my, that's actually a cutting board, but just my surface, just to prepare it ready for filming. I am totally not an expert at this. I'm just an amateur, and as it happens, I didn't use this backdrop in this video because it was too bright, so I'm using a green one instead. I changed my mind. So hopefully you'll enjoy this little video, and you can a little behind the scenes at literally what I do, which is go through drawers and cupboards and boxes of things. I'm sure, oh, there's Glory in the background. You see little Glory? So I'm sure that you guys have got these kind of drawers too. So I'm just gathering my materials, and it's a nice little video is this one, so I hope you enjoy it. And for those of you who don't do any bead weaving, give it a go. It's really fun and it's enabled me to help my mental health. It's very mindful and I really enjoy doing it, or at least learning how to do it. So I hope you enjoy the video. So that is my little routine in my little conservatory here in the northwest of England, my little piece of heaven I call it. So when I get a little bit of time to myself, this is what I do. I make a coffee and just get all my beads out. I just wanted to quickly show you these. Just a little bit of backstory really. When I first had some problems with my mental health, I took to beading because I thought it was really therapeutic, and I used to love making these beautiful butterflies, and aren't they beautiful? So I made just loads and loads and loads and loads of butterflies with these beautiful little Delica beads that I absolutely adore. So I just thought I'd show you a few of these. This is kind of how I started with getting into beads, and I found it really, really therapeutic. And what I'm going to put a picture up of the book that I took these patterns from. These aren't my patterns. These are patterns from a lady called Sheila Root, who has a very, very, very beautiful book about peyote butterflies. So credit to the beautiful and wonderful lady who wrote this particular book. And these are obviously mine. I don't sell these because they're her pattern. But I just thought I'd show you how I kind of got started into making things with beads, so I thought you'd be interested in seeing those. Aren't they gorgeous? So I'll put on the screen somewhere here a picture of this book. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. So I'm going to just pop these away. So as I got into beading more and more and more, I discovered that these gorgeous little Delica beads, you can make all sorts of things with them, which is what we're going to do today. We're actually going to make these. I came up with these just when I was messing about with tubes and that kind of thing, peyote stitch when I was learning, and I figured that column earrings are really, really beautiful in the ear, so we're going to make a pair just like this one. So I've got all sorts of pink, got some with black and silver, pinks and oranges, and you know, very pale ones, and I wear these an awful lot. They're really, really elegant in the ear, so I thought we would make these today. I'm just trialing a different background, a different backdrop, my friends, so I hope that it works. For some reason I'm having a lot of trouble with focusing on things close up at the moment. I do have a new phone camera, which is annoying me a little bit, because you spend a lot of money on these things thinking it's going to be brilliant, and for the most part they are. So I'm going to trial this backdrop today, and let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll get there eventually, I think, won't we? Can you see that? Yeah, I'm going to be using sort of pale fireline and nanofill and things like that, so I thought it would be good against the background. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at what we need to make these beautiful beads. So as I was getting ready this morning, I was going through my little box of tricks, and I thought we'd do a pair to match these. So these are gorgeous. These are rhubarb gold iris, and there's the DB number if you need it. Okay, quite expensive, aren't they? But you know what, they're very pretty, and I think I'm going to go with a pale gold to go with these, and I believe that's the number as well. So if you wanted to replicate these particular ones, I think that's the right number. All right, so you're going to need some 11/0 Delica beads. Aren't they pretty? Dead easy to do these, actually, if you know about peyote stitch, which I'm sure most of you do. So you're going to need some nanofill or a decent filament thread, because you don't need any stretch. All right, so I'm using nanofill just because I discovered it when I was learning to bead and I like it, so I keep that one. You're going to need a couple of ball pins. These are bent, but they won't be when I come round to making them. And you're going to need a couple of ear wires. So you can either make your own, or if you're going to be matching gold and silver, you can buy them relatively inexpensively. And I think that is all you need, apart from either a pair of scissors or a pair of cutters, just to cut your thread, and you're going to need a beading needle. So I will get out my little size 10 beading needle. These see a lot of action, don't they? So they get a bit bent, don't they? But there you go, size 10 beading needle. You get away with a size 10 in an 11/0, I think. You could go for a size 11 if you wanted to. I wouldn't go down to a size 12 because I think that's a little bit flimsy. That's all you need. So I'm just going to clear away. Hopefully this green base will look okay, and we'll get going. All right, so I'll see you in a few. Righty-ho, so I neglected to tell you that you're going to need a stopper bead. So I will just grab a stopper bead. Just one little stopper bead, there we go. Just so that things don't come flying off the end of your thread. So take your thread, and you're going to need probably half a wingspan, so the length of your arm. I've got quite long arms, so I would say a wingspan, half a wingspan, whatever you feel. Let's have a think. Probably half a wingspan if you've got decently long arms. If you don't have decently long arms, like me, then I'd go for a wingspan and a half, just to be on the safe side. So let's hope that this threads first time, and it does. Wonderful. I love it when that happens. Just literally thread your needle. Don't poke yourself like I just did then. So come in with your stopper bead, like so. pop that down. You need to leave a little bit of a tail so that you can thread this in later. So I go up once through the bead and then up twice through the bead, just so that everything's nice and secure. So I don't know, leave about, what's that? I don't know, 4 inches maybe, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. Right, so let's come in with our beads. So these are gorgeous, actually. Really, really pretty beads, as you can see there. I hope the camera's picking up how pretty those are. And your contrast beads, of course, you don't need to do them in 2 different colours. You can do them all in the one colour. Is that focusing? Very difficult to tell. Oh dear. I don't know. I might have to take my phone in and see actually if it's working properly. But there we go. You can do them in, you know, the same colour, or you can do an accent colour at the bottom. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's have a look. Righty-ho. So I've made these relatively long because I like a long stick. I think they look really elegant in the ear, and they, you know, they've got some lovely movement to them. You can make them as short or as long as you like. Again, if you wanted to have shoulder dusters, you know, quite stylish, I think, for a party or something, you know, you can make them quite long. So let's have a look what we do. So I've made these 32 beads long. All right, so the first row, you want 32 beads. So I'm going to start at the bottom. So I want to take one of my accent beads and then a couple of normal beads. That's 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I'll stick with a 30, I think. These longer ones are 32, but we'll stick with a 30, just for argument's sake. Right, let me just move these out of the way, and then hopefully we'll be able to focus. So you've got your little line of beads here. So what you want to do is turn them away from yourself. And obviously, because the stopper bead's on, these guys aren't going to fall off the end. So you can tell I've done that a few times, can't you? So you need to keep this a little bit taut. Just try and keep these little beads in line. So because we've started the accent beads at this end, we just want to use plain beads until we get to this kind of point here. All right, so take a bead. And not in the first bead, but in the second one. You go through and tug slightly. And what we want is to have these 2 beads at the bottom next to each other, like so. Okay, hope you can see that. The next bead we take onto our needle, miss a bead and go up through the next one. It's a little unwieldy to start with, but I promise you that once you get the first 2 rows out of the way, it gets an awful lot easier. And these are, you see there? So we've gone up through the next bead, sorry, the next 1 bead. So each time you are missing a bead. So every alternate one. Hopefully you can see this, and my camera is focusing. Miss this bead, come up through the next one, like so. So you just keep doing this all along and pull them tight, not too tight, but you know, tight enough. So we miss this bead and come up through the next bead. So take a little Delica and up through here. If this is your first foray into peyote stitch, may I suggest that you go and give Jill Wiseman's channel a look, because she is the absolute queen of doing this kind of thing, and I learnt all I know from the lovely and very beautiful Jill Wiseman. Miss this bead and up this bead here. Again, a little fiddly, but worth it in the end. So just keep going up. And every time, just bend this part around your finger. It just keeps things nice and stable. So we take a bead, miss this bead, and up the next one. So essentially, you're making a little line of little brick, like bricks. And it's not brick stitch, but it looks a little bit like bricks. So again, miss this one and through the next one. So what I'll do is I will come up close when I'm editing this video, and then hopefully you can see this better. Okay, so keep going. Another bead, miss this one and up through the next one. You literally just keep going, missing one, putting a bead in, missing one, putting a bead in, until you get to the end. So miss this one, put a bead in, like so, and just pull it tight every time. Now then, we're getting towards the end here. So can you see how we've got these little gold accent beads? I want to be starting to think about where we're going to put our little gold accents. So I'm just going to take a gold one, miss this one, put it through the next one. So can you see here, our next bead will be going in this space here. So I think we'll put a little pinkish one in. So miss the gold one and up through the next one, like so. All right, so that we don't have two gold ones together. Not that it matters, I don't suppose, but certainly towards the end you can do. This one, put a gold one in, and then you've just got these two beads left, so I'm going to put another gold one in. All right, so miss this one and put your needle through that last bead there. All right, so let's just have a look at the anatomy of this one now. So as you can see here, we've got 2 rows of beads with the little gold accents at the end there. Okay, hopefully that is focusing. Let's hope it is. So because we're doing even count, we want to be filling in this little section here. All right, so I'm going to put a gold bead on and down this sticky out bead here. The first 2 rows actually are the most difficult. Once you've captured and mastered that, you should be fine. So another gold bead through. So as you can see here now, they're starting to pop into place. So just choose at random for this bottom part. Another gold through there, like so. And then we'll start on these pretty pink ones. So essentially you just come right back down, popping a bead in every alternate bead, filling in the little gaps that we have in between. You'll know what I mean when you do it yourself. You can see here we've got gaps in between. So essentially we're missing this one, popping the needle in here to fill that gap, which is very difficult to do on camera because your hands get in the way, but that's all right. So whilst we're doing this, let's have a quick chat about this channel. This channel is basically me, Sam, hello, just basically showing what I've been making, showing what I've learned along the way. I am nowhere near an expert, but this channel, when I first started it, I wanted it to be a little community of like-minded people, just people who want to come together for a chat, share pretty things and just talk about life in general, mental health, that kind of thing, because making pretty things has saved my life, and I don't say that lightly, mainly because it's given me something to focus on, and the community that we're developing on this channel is just beautiful. So I just wanted to thank all of you for being here. I've reached 30,000 subscribers this morning, so, or was it yesterday? Could have been yesterday, but anyway, the past sort of day or two I've hit 30,000 subscribers, which is just unfathomable. So I'm grateful for every single one of you, so thank you very much for being here on this little beautiful journey that's life. Life and jewellery. And just to let you know that this is a chatty channel, so we do have just a little bit of a chat whilst we're making things. So welcome everyone. So here we go, we've got now 3 rows, so go back up again. All right, so each time putting a bead in like so, just filling in all the gaps like so, in and in. Now I mainly do beaded jewellery, but I sometimes do bead weaving. I'm kind of learning the craft myself. I'm nowhere near an expert. So the things that I show bead weaving wise, I'm sure there's lots and lots of you out there that are much better at it than I am. So if you've got any tips for me, let me know. You know, I'm not an expert. I'm just a housewife who sits in her conservatory and likes to share what I've been making. So I'm more than happy to get tips and tricks from you guys too. So please use the comment section as a way of communicating with me and with each other, actually. Let's see if we can help each other out here. All right, so as you can see, I'm continuing and continuing. So we just keep going basically until we get to the end. Right, so I'll put another pink bead in, and then I'll start on a couple of the gold ones as accent beads, which look really, really pretty. Oh, gone up too many beads there, Sammy. So they look really, really pretty, especially in the sunlight. So let's think, spring is on its way. Soon, hopefully. It can't come quick enough for me. I'm desperate to see some sunshine. It's been quite dull here. Right, so there we have our next row. You just keep doing that until there are 4 beads at the bottom and 4 beads at the top, and I'll meet you back when you've done that. Okay, so I'll see you in a few. How are you getting on, guys? Okay, so I'm literally just on my last row here because I have 4 beads at the bottom and I want 4 beads at the top, meaning that there are 8 rows. All right, so let's just do this last one. So again, literally just pop the beads in the spaces like so. They just pop in beautifully like so. I think we'll have another gold one, and then we'll start back on with the pinks. So we're nearly there. Hopefully you're following this all right, and my big fat hands aren't getting in the way. Very mindful. I love doing this kind of thing. Really, really good for the mental health, especially if you had a bit of a rough day, which people do. The world is a strange place at the moment. isn't it? So it's nice just to sit and relax if you can. I do quite a few different types of crafts. This is my favourite. I'm learning to quilt at the moment. So I'm just in the process of making my first ever quilt. And if you're on my Facebook group, which I will leave a link to in the description box. I think we've got about nearly 900 people in there at the moment. So if you're in my Facebook group, I should be displaying my new quilt for my grandson. When I've finished it, I'm just in the process of quilting it at the moment. So please come and join us. It'd be lovely to have you there. So here we are, we're coming towards the end, and we'll pop the last bead in like so. There we go. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottom. All right, so obviously this one is longer because I use 32 beads. This one is 30 beads. So what we want to do now is we want to zip it up into like a little tube. All right, so what we do is we fold it. So as you can see here, we have the flat piece. We want to be folding it in half like so. And then if you can see the little sticky out, as Jill Wiseman nicely puts it, the little sticky out beads, we want to be zipping those together. So we take our needle and come out of this bead and into this one here. So as you can see at the end, we want to be zipping that into like a tube. So through that bead there. And then diagonally through this next sticky out one here. And then diagonally the next sticky out one on the bottom row, and then the next sticky out one on the top row. So essentially you just keep going along in this fashion, keeping everything nice and tight. So we have a sticky out bead here on the bottom row, so we come through that one, and then a sticky out bead here on the top row. Be much easier for you when you do it yourself, because you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. It's a little difficult to show you on camera, and I don't know how these experts do it so beautifully. I'm looking at you, Jill Wiseman and Stephanie from Bronze Pony. They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I don't know how they get their camera work so beautifully clear, because I'm just an amateur doing this. But anyway, so you keep going along, essentially through each sticky out bead, one on the top, oops, one on the bottom. So as you can see, we're zipping up this into a tube like so. So I'll come back when that's all done. Okay, so I'll see you in a couple. Righty ho, so here we are at the end. So when we've zipped all of this lovely little thing up, we just have to finish it off by putting the needle through here and then up through this last bead. Hopefully I'll be able to do you a close-up of what this looks like. Now don't worry if it bends slightly at this point, we're going to be rolling it into shape when we put the head pin through. So because it's quite tight in there, you can, if you want, do 5 beads at the top and 5 beads at the bottom, so that you have 5, let me show you, so that you have 5 beads, yeah, or you can do 4. The 4 is slightly tighter, but you know, it works as long as your head pin isn't too thick a gauge. So we've got this gap here, so we literally want to make a bridge over the top to close things up. So just pop your thread through and tighten that up. Come back through this bead like so, pull tight, and then what you want to do is you'll find a little piece of your thread at the top, So just wiggle your, trying to do this through the camera is very difficult. You just need to wiggle your needle underneath it. If it's going to let me. Is it going to let me? No. Let's choose the next one along. You know, these things happen, don't they? There we go. Let's see if it'll go through there. Underneath. There we go. It's got it. So you just make a knot underneath and chop. Not too closely that it comes undone, because that can happen too. And as you can imagine, I've also done that. So take your stopper bead off, and you want to rethread this tail, which I'll have to do off camera, so just bear with me. Oh no, that worked pretty well. You just basically do the same thing. So if it comes out the top, come down the next one, back up the next one. You're just finishing things off at the top here, and then find the little bridge of your thread at the top. Feed your thread, and then just make a small knot and just tighten everything up. That's it. So just chop the rest of your thread off, and this is what we have. So just give it a little bit of it on a harder surface than I've got. Just give it a little bit of a roll, straighten it all up. And this is where we come in with our head pin. So again, like I said, don't make the head pin too thick a gauge. I think this is probably 0.5 millimeter, 24 gauge perhaps, or a 26, because you're going to be threading it through this tiny little hole in the middle. So it does fit because I've made quite a few of these, but you just need to be gentle with it. So, oops, you take your plier and grasp, just feed it on. Now don't forget that these are glass beads, so if you're a little heavy-handed at this stage, you may very well crack a bead, and that's just so annoying. I've done it a few times. There we are. So there we go. So at this point, just give it a little bit of a straighten, again, making sure you don't crack your beads. Oh, I've done that the wrong way round, haven't I? Let's pull that out. I wanted those gold beads at the bottom, so let's just try that again, Sammy. There we are. Thread, 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 twist and thread them on, twist and thread them on. There we are. So there is our beautiful stick column earring, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to take a tiny tad off the top of there, because all we need to do now is to bend this over like so on an angle, and then just come in with your plier and make a loop like so. Make it nice and neat and tidy like so, like so. And there is your stick earring. How pretty is that? So all you need to do now is just to come in with a coordinating ear wire. Like I say, you can make your own, which I often do, but there's nothing wrong with the proprietary ones. They're relatively affordable. Just, you know, if you're making them to gift, just make sure that they're hypoallergenic is all I will say. So how pretty is that? So here is our little stick earring. Make them in lots and lots of different colours for lots of different outfits. That, you know, it's endless. If you've got a big box of Delica beads like I have, you can make millions and millions and millions and millions, millions and millions. Have lots and lots of fun making these, guys. Let me know how you get on in the comments, and hopefully it was in focus for you. I'll see you in my next video, where I think we might be making some hoop earrings out of beads and wire. All right, so I'll see you soon, and thank you so much for watching.